As they say, from the legendary Barnum and Bailey circus, the show must go on. And yes, we are here a little late, apologize, but we promised a show and we are going to deliver a show tonight. No matter what Young Moolah had to go through today, I won't even get all into it. It's been a hectic day, but we are back in the saddle, back behind the mic, back in these streets of baseball, because we are going to do a late night BBM draft. That's what we like to do on Mondays. It's called Midnight Mondays, and it's not quite midnight here on the West Coast, but it's well past midnight over there on the East Coast. And we're trying to catch some guys slipping and slammering. They coming in from the club a little bit of tipsy, and we are coming in to go ahead and find some plus EV in these Ball Mania streets. And yeah, it's been a long one. I will say that. But we're back. We are here, and we are gentle and blissful, gifted and beautiful, generous and benevolent, and most appreciatively, we are grateful and blessed. Definitely grateful, definitely blessed with the day I had. And so it's your guy, Young Moolah, and we are ready to jump into these streets. Without further ado, we are just going to jump into the intro, and we'll already be registered into a Ball Mania draft when we come back, because that's what we're going to do, is a Ball Mania draft. So get ready, buckle your seatbelts, as we'll be in these Ball Mania streets right after the intro.
I read the board like maps, 3 moves ahead, no cap. You draft on vibes and dreams. I build my league from scratch. My bench got hidden gems. Your roster full of names. I spot the league before it shows, then pour salt on the game. I trade like a casino, flip risk in the gold. You chase last week's fireworks, I chase the box score code. I know the soft matchups, line up who fades in rain. I turn a sleepy Sunday into a money train. Check the line, I'm locked in. Every we got teeth. You bring a hot take, I bring season long receipts. I got the crown, I got the crown. Draft day, I run this town. Stack my wins, cash my clout. Say my name when lights go out.
It's your boy, Young Moolah, man. All right, and we are back. And we enter the Ball Mania. We are waiting on 7 people. Can we get it? Can we get in this? I know they started a new contest today, the Dalmatian $1. We will go ahead and get in some of those as well. We're going to go ahead and try to fill this BBM here on a Midnight Mondays with your guy, Young Moolah. Yeah, so our cover boy today on the thumbnail is one Matthew Golden, and yeah, we're ready to go ahead and disclose, full disclosure. We're all over this guy. Why? Do I need to go into the reasons? Yeah, sometimes you just got to know some of these things. Look at the data. We ain't looking at no goddamn data. We are just going to tell you how we feel about this particular situation. This is not a data play. You got to have a sense in this game of knowing when a guy is going to break out. Is Romeo Dobbs still in town? No. Is what's his name? Dontavian Wicks still in the building in Green Bay? No. Okay. Did they draft this dude in the first round last year and want to get him off fast last year, but they just couldn't connect? Yes. And so who's the outside 2 receivers? Who's going to be playing 2 receiver sets here? That'll be Christian Watson. That'll be Matthew Golden. So he's going to be on the field a ton. There's no Dontavian Wicks. There's no Romeo Dobbs. And they spent first round capital on him last year. What does that translate to? A sizable role heading into 2026. Yeah, that's all that means. You don't have to be a scientist and try to dig into this yards per route run and all this other shit that ain't gonna matter. Just get out on the field, young fella. We brought you here to make plays, just like we did Devontae Adams years ago, just like we did Jordy Nelson years ago, just like we did Greg Jennings years ago. It's your time to shine, young fella. Yeah, you're here to make plays, so make them. And so we're banking on that at this price that he's coming in right now. That's all that needs to be said. If I give him the stamp of approval, that means I've checked out his profile. That means a guy like YUUNGMOOLAHH, who has that eye, this eye, that eye, for talent out here like no other. We rolling, we putting our stamp of approval on him, and it's one of those things. It's a done deal. Just go ahead and rock this one. Don't try to question it. The price is cheap enough. He's got a great role. He's in an offense that has proven to put receivers on the map year in and year out. They kind of have this process there where they draft their receivers and they develop them. This is a team that develops receivers. So whatever happened last year, you can go ahead and try to say, oh, he's a bust and this or that. Okay, you just sit on the sideline. We got something for you all. The people that like to sit on the sideline. We'll go ahead and play that a little bit later for you. It's called Wild Cards. It's a part of our Hype Monsters series here from YUUNGMOOLAHH here at GAB Sports. And we'll put that on board tonight as well as we are hyping up our guy, Matthew Golden, right? And we want to go ahead. The draft has just filled, but we want to go ahead and slide this in here too. Our subscriber goal for 300 subscribers. We're on the road to 300 subs. We want to get that done by the end of this Best Ball Mania hot summer of drafting. And if we get that 300 sub goal, we will go ahead and provide to the community our top DFS plays for the week. Yes, we do DFS too. And for week one, as well as our NFL picks for week one as well. Totally free to the community if we get that 300 subscriber goal by the end of Best Ball Summer. All right, let's see what pick we got, because we are starting in 30 minutes. We got pick number 4. We're coming in the 4 hole, which was good enough for us. We have no problems coming in at the 4 hole. Yeah, we have no problems coming in at any spot, to be quite frank, because at any spot you get, you got to make it work. I don't care what you get. You get the number 2 spot, the number 7 spot, the number 5 spot, the number 11 spot, number 12 spot, number 4 spot. You got to make it work. And so we're coming in the number 4 hole right here. And it's pretty cookie cutter, pretty much a cookie cutter pick here. We're taking the receiver or top running back out of the top 4 that is available. It's usually never going to be the running backs, and it isn't today. So we got the 4th best player on the board. The top 4. And we usually end up with Puka here, and we're quite okay with that. Getting tons of shares of Puka Nakua right here. Excuse me, while I take this little drink. Yeah, we got to stay hydrated. Yeah. All right. So, again, coming in at this midnight hour on the West Coast, close to midnight, and past midnight on the East Coast. What happens in these midnight drafts usually doesn't happen in these daytime drafts for whatever reason. I don't know what the reason is. But from my perspective, being here on the West Coast, I think it's a lot of fatigue out there. And so I'm coming in still refreshed, even after a long, hectic day. I mean, I will admit, I am kind of tired, but we promised a show, so we're going to deliver the show. And so we definitely like drafting the BBMs here late into the evening, into the early morning on the East Coast. And so, yeah, we enjoy this, and we're going to keep coming at you every Monday. We almost didn't make it today, but we made it at some point, right? And we have a strategy that we want to employ here. And being in the 4th hole, I think I may be able to execute it. We're going to go ahead and see if we can. But I think we can. We're going to test it out. And so let's see how we're going to have to do it. If the first picks that we need in our strategy is available, we'll be able to do it possibly. It's not going to be easy, but it's doable. Let me check the ADPs again. All right, so we're going to go ahead and let's put this grid up. The grid for the draft. Share this tab instead. Yeah, that's how we want to do it. Share this tab instead. And we will go ahead and get to our display. Let's get to the display. of the draft. And so we're headed into the second round here on our BBM. Okay. So we are 4 picks away into the second round, coming out of the 4 hole. I don't recognize many names here, if any, in this draft, and that's fine. If you happen to be in this chat, in this stream, go ahead and let us know. Go ahead and say, hey, I'm in here, drafting with your guy, Young Moolah here in the Late Night Creep on Midnight Mondays. As we are looking for a little bit of plus EV, and we're going to go ahead and jump in another draft right after this. We're going back to back, not back to back BBMs, but we're going to jump into this Dalmatian. Yeah, I like that Dalmatian. I think I put in like 75 entries last year or something. And the Dalmatian, it's only $1, and you can win up to like 20K. Yeah, we're all about that. Jeremiah Love. I've been adding quite a bit of this guy. It's also a divisional matchup. You know, they play twice. You know, hey, why not? So, Jeremiah Love, Puka Nacua, a little bit of correlation. Yeah, I know it's not week 17 correlation, but it's some correlation. They play twice. Not sure if I don't have my schedule up. Not totally prepared for this. But we can kind of go by memory. I don't believe that they play in the playoff weeks. Arizona, Los Angeles. But let's go ahead and check something out. Will we double up on Arizona? Will we double up on Arizona? Let's see. I haven't done this yet. The narrative is Arizona's going to stink, right? I kind of want to get this guy with Puka. Don't have this combination. I do want to get this guy, Garrett Wilson, with Puka Nacua. I did want to get that combination. And we go ahead and took it here, right here in the BBM. There's certain combinations that I do want to get in the BBM. That was one of them. And so we went ahead and pulled the trigger right here, right now, on the Midnight Mondays live BBM draft here at GAB Sports with your boy YUUNGMOOLAHH. And so, yeah, Garrett Wilson is one of the guys who a lot of people aren't too high on. I mean, when I say a lot of people, his ADP is pretty high. But what I'm saying is the narrative around the Jets, for the most part, is that they're going to stink. And that guy like Geno Smith is probably going to get replaced by a guy like Cade Klubnik. When I keep hearing all these things about Geno's going to get replaced by Cade Klubnik, and what's this guy's name? And Jacoby Brissett. Yeah, Jacoby Brissett in Arizona is going to get replaced by Carson Beck. Give me a break. These quarterbacks can't fucking carry a lunch pail, a water bucket. These boys, water boys. Carson Beck. This was one of the worst quarterback drafts in the history of the NFL. Yeah, history of the NFL. This is a horrible quarterback draft. Only dude worth any kind of thing is Fernando Mendoza. These dudes are terrible. These are never going to be starters in the NFL. These dudes are all career backups, all of them. If they ever start a game, it's just to hold the seat warm for somebody. And so why not just hold the seat warm for Jacoby Brissett? I mean, or with Jacoby Brissett or with Geno Smith. They give at least the offense a chance to move the ball. So I'm not buying the narrative that these guys will be replaced by these bum rookie quarterbacks. Show me first. Because I'm leaning towards veterans playing pretty much all year in both of these cases because they'll be able to move the offense. So that's the bottom line. You got to be able to move the offense. Yeah. A veteran receiver, these dudes who want to put up numbers, they're going into contract years. You think they're going to be happy with a coach that puts in these bum-ass rookie quarterbacks? A guy like a Garrett Wilson, man, we got to put up numbers this year. A.D. Mitchell, we got to put up numbers. Marvin Harrison, give me the veteran quarterback who can move the offense. So you're going to lose the team sometimes by putting in these bum rookie quarterbacks just because you think, oh, This veteran can't really do anything. Well, he can't win us enough games. You think the other dude's gonna win you games? So if you're losing games anyway, so you might as well keep the dude who can move the offense in the game. That's just my narrative. That's just the way we think. And we think pretty deeply. I think very deeply, as KRS-One once said. I think very deeply. Okay, let's see if our 5th round pick will be available to us. We do have a guy in mind who we want to roll with in the early 5th. And so we put him at the top of the queue. Yeah, he's at the top of the queue here in the early 5th. As you are rolling on Midnight Mondays with your guy, YUUNGMOOLAHH. Came in a little late. We apologize for that. But as we will go ahead and throw on a little background music to keep ourselves going in case we are doing a solo pod, which is perfectly fine. We're going to talk and talk and talk some more as if we got an audience full of spectators and viewers, knowing that, yeah, we came in late here, but we're going to roll and rock with it no matter what. And so we're going to put on our sounds of success here. We are on the top and Christian. Christian, man. Let's see where these guys get. 5 rounds. What do we want to do on our next pick? The 6th round, the late 6th, early 7th is a spot I'm not too thrilled with in drafts right now. The players there are usually just not my cup of tea as far as what I really like and get excited about. Those guys just are kind of all either a little risky or I'm just kind of down on most of those guys this year. So I'll just take best player available a lot of times, or I'll take a person who might fit the game stack during the playoff weeks or something. But it's just not a very interesting position of the draft, that late 6th, early 7th. Not very interesting part of the draft. One of the deadest parts of the draft, I believe. And so we're looking for a potential slider. That's what our hope is. But nobody tends to slide there. Hardly ever. Well, nobody ever slides there. So what do we need to do? We just need to take our best player that we like, which is often a position that we might already be strong at. Lamar Jackson goes early 5th. The Big Mike to the C. Let's see, do we recognize anybody in here? I do not. And that's a good thing. As you're coming in on the late night creep, Midnight Mondays, we don't recognize many people here, and we usually don't, which is why we keep coming back over and over again, as you should too, on Midnight Mondays, because we throw in a BBM right away every Monday night. And we coming at you a little past midnight on the East Coast. Thanks for waking up with us, or going to sleep with us, or about to go to sleep with us, which is the West Coast guys. We're going to go to sleep after a couple of these drafts, right? And I will do a second one. I'm going to jump into a Dalmatian. Hopefully there's still some drafters up. Probably will be. Still some drafters up. That's usually how it goes. You can find drafters here on Underdog most of the days of the week, all throughout the day and night. Do we want to do that? I think we do. Yeah, we take Makai Lemon there. Why? Just because. Mix it up a little bit. Mix it up just a little bit. We don't have much of this guy. So we'll go ahead and get a share here. Who else we don't have many shares of? There's players we just don't have many shares of who we don't mind taking right here. And if the board is really crappy, yeah, we'll do something that I don't love to do, but we will do it if I need to. I'll show you in a minute, because if the board is really crappy, that's what we're going to do. But first of all, we're going to take this drink of water before my pick. Okay, we found something we can do. We do like this guy at this price. That'll be Tony Pollard. Tony Pollard should have a very key role with the Tennessee Titans. Yeah, not much has changed over there other than the coaching staff, but as far as the backfield, pretty much similar to last year. Tyjae Spears is coming in as one of those guys who will compete with Pollard for some sort of split of that pie. And then they have a young, talented dude, though. Don't underestimate one Nicholas Singleton. Very talented young guy. Well, a lot of people didn't get a chance to evaluate, so they kind of are maybe like, oh, well, we don't think this guy is any good, or we don't know much about this guy. When you don't know something, you should dig a little deeper to find out, because don't be just going with the consensus narrative that this guy is somehow not any good because he got drafted in the 4th or 5th round or whatever. No, very talented back is Nicholas Singleton. He was one of the top guys coming out of his high school class. Had a couple good years at Penn State. His last year wasn't quite as good, and then he got hurt in the evaluation process. So that could be what's steering the narrative into a more negative viewpoint of him. But nah, this guy's got loads and loads of ability. Don't be shocked if he's lighting it up in camp. And that's the thing about drafting right now, here right before training camp. Dudes that come on strong in training camp, I mean, people are going to change ADPs rather quickly, right? Because this is a reactionary community. And that's one of the things that just shows you that everybody thinks the market is sharp. If the market was really sharp, they'd be ahead of the curve on a lot of stuff. And that's where I try to beat people to the punch, is by being ahead of the curve on certain picks, certain players who can possibly rise over the next few months. Whereas once these drafters come in late July, when training camps run away throughout August, you're late to the party, man. So being late to the party is usually not a good thing, because some teams have already gotten dudes at certain values, and you coming in chasing them up the board. Go ahead, go right ahead. So the seasoned drafters who've been drafting all season long, we're usually mindful not to chase guys up the board in BBMs, right? Because every contest is different. You have contests where the time box contests, right? Where ADPs aren't really relevant because that contest is only going to be open for a short window. And you got the season-long contests, the BBMs, the eliminators, those kind of contests. The window is long for these contests. So chasing dudes up the board could be to your detriment. You know, you don't want to do that too much in these kind of contests. All right, what we're going to do here. We want a tight end. Is there any tight end that floats our boat? Not really. So we're going to roll with this guy. We're going to roll with Blake Corum. For the decorum, we got Blake Corum as well as Puka Nacua. And who do they play? Week 17? That'd be Tampa Bay, right? We don't have any correlation at this point, but that's all right. You don't have to correlate every single thing, right? Not necessary. Sometimes you just want to get a team stack, a friendly team stack of two players. Corum, Nacua, explosive offense. They can roll. We will roll with them. All right. We're going to do it. We're going to drop the gauntlet right here. We're dropping the gauntlet right there, right now. And we got our guys, Christian Watson and Matthew Golden, our wild cards we play make. What does that mean? What does that mean, you say? Wild cards we play make. Let's go ahead and bust it out and show you what it means here at GAB Sports. Hype monsters.
Now it's our time to pimp this game. City of cream witness a lethal pass in the tag. Charge it to the game, we keep playing. 17 weeks being my road to glory. Break it off for the buy-in. Lean on back, stack your chips on the table. Now you're ready for this story. Apathy, malaise and low energy, feeling the air. To me and my dog, creep on the scene. 2 aces drafted with high hopes. Lights, camera, action. Already learned the rope. Heavy hitters in the building, watch them stare as we play. Make on this field of green. From the Bay Lane marks, get on out the way. This here major talent now on display. 2 jokers in the deck, right? 2 black kings about to chuck deuces to the sky. Since you ain't really know, let the groove hit you while I proceed to go and make this play. So now you know. Stay on the sidelines if you choose. With these cards, we ain't gonna lose. We like to boogie.
There you have wild cards. Our new song we created just for these 2 players, and we just put them in tandem on the Young Mool Express. 2 jokers in the deck, right? 2 black kings about to do to the sky, because you don't really know. While I proceed to go and make this play. All right, we're going to make that play because we got those 2 guys. Let's see if we can back it up with the guy we need to pull the trigger. We'll see. We'll see if we can do that. We're going to get somebody who can pull the trigger here because there's a whole lot of good quarterbacks available right here to me. And we will be getting one of them. That's for sure. Which one, you say? That one. Somebody's got 3 quarterbacks next to me. Why is that? Why do you have 3 quarterbacks, sir, already? What's the purpose of this? You need 3 quarterbacks? Really? No, you don't. There's too many damn quarterbacks on your roster already. But thank you, because we got ours. We got ours. Let's turn that music back on, background. Let's go ahead and get into the groove here at GAB Sports. What you got, Young Moolah? Drafting on midnight Mondays. We got our 2 wild cards, 2 jokers in the deck, 2 aces drafted with high hopes. Yeah, you got to listen to the words on that one. It's talking about the Green Bay Packers offense this year. Oh, and we got Stafford. Man, ship us to the playoffs already. Ship this one to the playoffs already. Yeah, I don't care if we got 2 same buys. We'll fix that later. Ship us to the playoffs already. Yeah, feeling good about that one. And so we are coming out with a 2, 4, 5 draft so far through 11. 2, 4, 5. Let's see, who else do we like? We are loading up the queue with dudes we like. Only dudes we like. Let's see who can make the rest of the team here. Got a lot of candidates. as we are 11 picks away. On midnight, Mondays, where we're drafting a BBM, and we're going to go ahead and jump into a second draft. That second draft will be Dalmatian, the little Dalmatian. I am jumping into a big ass $100 Dalmatian this late at night. Might not even jump into it at all. 3 entry max, 20K top. Or let me see. Let me look at this. Did I look at this right? So the Dalmatian, 3 entry max at $100 a piece, 30K to first. Playoff structure, very good. It has to be, right? 4 out of 12, 1 out of 5, 1 out of 8, 23 seat final. Hey, we might have to consider at least an entry in this one. Yeah, the little Dalmatian, 101 entries for $1, and you get 3 out of 12, 1 out of 10, 1 out of 6, and a 470 seat final. You know, the cheaper contests, 20K up top, are always going to be a little tougher in the final normally. But this isn't a bad structure, actually. 3 out of 12, and 1 out of 10, 1 out of 6. For a super cheap contest, sorry with me, man. And you get more bullets in this one, right? I think I got 75 last year, so we're definitely going to do some of this one. And probably 1 or 0 of the Dalmatian. We little Dalmatian. Yeah, we pick and choose what contests we like here. And that big Dalmatian is usually just not making the cut for us. Good luck to all that get in there. All right, should we pull the trigger on this guy? I think we're going to have to. We got Tony Pollard already. We'll go with Cam Ward. We'll backstock him with someone that we like. We don't have a tight end yet, but we can rectify that very shortly. There are a couple guys on our radar that we do like. Not going to press it, though. If it doesn't fit, you must have quit. Yeah, we will not chase that one. And so we will just go with the guys we like more often than not, instead of forcing a guy out of position of need. I'm just like an NFL team. NFL teams should not be drafting for need. Neither does YUUNGMOOLAHH in his best ball contest. I don't draft for need. I draft for difference-making potential. Yeah, it's never for need. Unless I'm at the very tail end of a draft and you only got 1 tight end or something. I need a second. Yeah, I got draft tight end. But by and large, what I'm saying is we're drafting for impact, potential impact, even if it's potential impact. We're not just drafting for need. I'm not drafting Cooper Kupp ever. Why? What is that? What he's going to do? Chaperone somebody for 2-3 weeks? He lost a step or 2 years ago. Now he's lost like 2 steps and he's done. You're not messing with no damn Cooper Kupp. Why? We can draft this kind of dude in the 13th round who's got wide receiver 1 ability on his team. Think I'm messing with Cooper Kupp? No. Draft all you like. We got 4 week 11 buys. Yeah, and that's not great to have that, but do we worry about that or do we worry about the build? We're more concerned with the build. And so we'll find a way around that, even if we only got 3 receivers available that week. We got Garrett Wilson, Kai Lemon, and our couple late round dudes. So we'll probably end up with 8 receivers on this build. 3, 5, 8, 2. Can we swing that? Or is it 3, 5, 7, 3? Probably the latter. We'll see. We will see, because I started late on a tight end. Might have to get 3 of these bums. But we'll see how it works out. 3 of these bums. Let me see what the tight end spot's looking like. That dude, this dude, Who else we want to add to the queue at the tight end spot? Because we're going to need 3 probably. Probably. Never say that you have to, though. Because again, we don't draft for need. We draft for potential impact. And a guy like, it could be a receiver that I like late who just has more impact than one of these tight ends. So, hey, man, I'll punt tight end. Tight end is one of your least value positions in best ball. So I'm not going to be forcing a tight end. Just say, I had to get a 3rd tight end. So I took Mike Gesicki, David Njoku. Okay, well, you do that. We're not promoting that. We're not going to do that kind of a strategy here where you're just getting 3 tight ends. Just say, I had to have 3 tight ends. Well, what are they going to do? Are they going to do anything? Or you just got 3 tight ends? You just want to get 7 points instead of 6 points? That's the same thing. 7 points is the same as 6 points. So if your tight end can't jump from 6, 7 points to 14, 15 points, what's the sense in getting him? Just so he gives you 1 or 2 extra points? That's nothing. That's nothing. Meaningless. Okay. We do need to go ahead and get 1 tight end down by now. And will it be that one? Yeah. Another week 11 dude? Yeah, he's fell pretty far. Week 11 be damn. Excuse me. Week 11 be damn. We'll take Double H. Hunter Henry. 30. Wait, no. 15 picks past ADP. Hunter Henry. All right. I think I'll see what I want to do next pick. Hopefully we can do it. If not, then we don't. But I think we can. Get it done. Get her done. Get her done, fella. We got her done. Because we wanted this guy all along. We'll go ahead and move our draft board down. I think it's a little lagging. Yeah. Yep, it is. And so we got 4 clicks left. And we're taking this guy as one of our last clicks. But one of our most popular clicks throughout the draft cycle. Sean Tucker. Yeah, he's a guy that will have a goal line role. And yeah, man, he had that big explosive game against Buffalo last year. Got like 35, 40 points or something, right? He had a huge game. Just to go show you some of his potential. This guy has big upside. If he ever gets a role, like a starting role, based on whatever factors, injury, ineffectiveness. If Sean Tucker gets into a game as a starter, he's like a must play in DFS whenever that happens. So a lot of times you got to look at it from a perspective of what if? What if he gets into a key role? By hook or by crook, right? By injury, ineffectiveness, trade, whatever happens. These are all the possibilities that have to be going through your mind. The wheels have to be spinning to be able to make some of these selections. Everything's just not, everything only plays out one way. This is the only outcome that can happen. No, there's multiple, like many multiple outcomes that can happen. That's why a lot of these people do all these simulations of seasons and all that, because there's going to be so many different ways that seasons happen. And so we're going to come after these tools here in a minute on our Machiavellian Thoughts, our weekly show. Yeah. Tools, you're in our crosshairs. All the tools, guys. They think they got such big edges. Yeah, come on over here, see if you got an edge. I don't think you got no kind of edge. And we're willing to put our money where our mouth is. on that. So, but anyway, let's just go ahead and continue this draft. 16, 17, 18. We've got 3 more clicks left. We got a 3, 5, 6, 1. I knew that guy would get picked. He's a popular guy these days. Do we want Gunnar Helm? Oh, he just went. So we don't want him. We did want him. Potentially. There's a bunch of guys here that we can get. We're kind of undervalued, underrated. Two plus one. We'll take this guy for sure. Pat Fryermuth. Underrated. And we need one more receiver, obviously. And potentially one more tight end. We're going to stick with that core of 5 running backs. We're just going to say those dudes get her done. Get her done. They all got different bye weeks. 8, 9, 10, 11, 14. 5 different bullets each week. 4 of them will be active. Unless they're hurt. But we'll take that chance with this young backfield with a wily veteran. Pretty much 4 young guys with Tony Pollard, who's kind of a wily veteran. We're going to go ahead and pair our guy up with his deep threat, Shamari DK. Undervalued dude on that Tennessee offense. Could be the second best receiver on that team. Not a believer in Wan'Dale Robinson. You guys go right ahead and take him at that lofty price. I'll take a guy like Shamari DK much later. Even a guy like Calvin Ridley, right? But I'd take DK over Ridley because I like to do things a little different here, GAB Sports. When people try to do things a little consensus, we don't buy into consensus because I'm going to bank that you're wrong on these late picks more often than not. So the later picks is where a lot of people are clicking the same clicks as everybody else, and the chances that the consensus is right late in drafts is never good. The consensus is usually pretty much on the mark the first half of the draft. Those ADPs are always the market driven, pretty solid, and you can't really dispute them that much, right? There aren't going to be guys that are just drastically undervalued in the first 10 rounds. There'll be 1 or 2 guys that can fall through the cracks, but for the most part, the market is pretty sharp on the first 10 rounds. So late in the draft is where the market means nothing. Don't care what you say. It's proven year after year. The rounds 15, 16, 17, 18, the market is not right on these the majority of the time. Right? Just because a guy's getting drafted 100% of the time, another dude's getting drafted 3-4% of the time. That 3-4% could be the right pick. Right? And there's plenty of scenarios of that where that could play itself out this year, where those 3%ers that aren't getting drafted could really shine. And the guys who are holding all these bags of these dudes who are 90% drafted and they don't do squat. Yeah, I'm not going to be in that camp. We don't want to be holding the bags of 90% drafted dudes who don't do squat. Yeah. So we'll do something a little different. We're going to do something a little different here. I'm going to grab a guy who I've been wanting to draft. I just haven't been able to click him for whatever reason. But in this particular spot, I see this is a good spot as any to go ahead and click him. Why not, you say? Let's see if he even gets to me. Sometimes you got to some kind of thought in your mind and the guy doesn't even get to you. And you're like, dang, I thought it would happen, but I think he will. Let's see. We might be after the similar position here, buddy. Let's see what you do. He did go after the same position, but he took a different player. We're going to go with this guy who should be a starter. Ja'Tavion Sanders. Why the hell not? So we got 3 tight ends with a 3-5-7-3. The old 3-5-7-3. All right. So let's go and review this team very quickly and jump into a Dalmatian and go ahead and call it a night here at GAB Sports. We were going to go ahead and review this team here. We got 3-5-7-3 out of the 4-hole in our BBM on midnight Mondays. We got Jordan Love, Matthew Stafford, Cam Ward. So a 3-quarterback room. Guys with different skill sets, but guys who are also attached. 2 of them are attached to pretty good offenses, very good offenses. One guy who's unproven, still developing, but he gives us that 3rd quarterback that we needed since we had 2 guys on the same bar. And also a guy who has some untapped ability. Hopefully he can put it together this year. That would be Cam Ward. We'll see if it all works out. Who knows? But we like that quarterback room, especially since we waited a little bit. And then we got Jeremiah Love, Cam Scatterboo, Tony Pollard, Blake Corum, Sean Tucker. We went with just 5 guys. And these are not 5 proven guys. These are guys who should have some good roles, the first 3. And one of them has tremendous talent. Another dude is a workhorse potentially and a darling of the best ball community. And we're starting to buy into that a little bit. I'm never too stubborn to change course during the best ball draft season and say, hey, man, let me go ahead and make sure I got some shares. And that'd be Cam Scott. And then we got Tony Pollard, who could have a big role, right, on an offense. And we got our quarterback. So offense that could be on the rise. Then we got Blake Corum on a very good offense, whose role could be increasing. And we got Sean Tucker, a guy we do like late in drafts for his potential in the event that he gets a decent role. But even in the role that he has, he's going to have some usable weeks. All right. Receiver room, 7 receivers. We went with Puka Nacua. We wanted to pair them up with Garrett Wilson. That was done intentionally. And so we pulled up Garrett Wilson a little bit. And then we got Christian Watson, Makai Lemon. And we wanted to pair these 2 up. Our wild cards. Yes. Let's go ahead and proceed to go and make this play. So we made the play with Christian Watson. Matthew Golden doubled up. And so we had a plan in mind on what our quarterback room ideally would look like, right? And Denzel Boston, Shamari DK. And we did execute that plan and got Jordan Love to fall at a very good price. And so we double stacked the Packers team. We got Hunter Henry, Pat Freiermuth, and Ja'Tavion Sanders. All 3 of our tight ends are unstacked, but we needed some tight ends. And so we like the way this room came together at the very end. We're okay with that 3 tight end room. So there is our team here in the BBM. Good luck to us. And so now we will jump into what is called the Little Dalmatian. Not the big one, the little one. But first off, we want to go ahead and share a little commercial announcement. And that would be our subscriber goal that we want to hit here at GAB Sports. Yeah, we have goals, man. And we are intent on reaching those goals by hook or by crook. And so what it is basically by the end of this best ball season, hot summer of best ball, we would like to have 300 subscribers to the GAB Sports channel. Go ahead and subscribe now. Get in while you can. And also follow us on social media at GAB4Young. That's GAB, the number 4, YUUNG. And if we do reach this 300 subscriber milestone, we will go ahead and release free to you our NFL Week 1 DFS top plays. Yeah, you want to get in on this because early in the season is the time we can really have an edge in our mind. We've been drafting all summer. We're locked in on all these picks. and we play DFS. We've been playing for years. Go ahead and check out our archives here. You can go ahead and check out how our process is and how we go ahead and deliver. And there'll be a little bit of changes, right? There'll be some stuff behind the paywall. That's okay. That's just how we got to do it, because we know our process is locked in and winning process. So we go ahead and offer that to you. But for week 1, if we reach this 300 subscriber goal, we'll go ahead and give those picks away week 1 for free. NFL DFS week 1 plays, as well as our NFL top picks for the games. All right. And so that's what we wanted to go ahead and put out there for you. And so go ahead and help us get to that goal right there. All right. So let's go ahead and jump into a second draft. That second draft will be a Little Dalmatian, right? Let's go ahead and hop on in. Little Dalmatian. Let's see if there's any people up this late at night, as we are approaching midnight here on the West Coast. It's 11:30 p.m. And we'll just go ahead and jump in this one here. The Little Dalmatian. $1. Jump on in. Let's see. Anybody out here? Ollie auction free. Waiting on 10 people. Let's see if it goes off. If not, well, it's already starting to wind down. I believe it will go off. Yeah. So I think we will be all right here in a few minutes. Yeah, it's already counting down. It's going to go off. So we're going to go ahead and jump into this one. Let's see what it's looking like as we are waiting on 2 people. Let's see if we got anybody else out here streaming. I can go ahead and jump into their room real quick. Say what's up. Appreciate it if they do the same, because we will be streaming, and go ahead and say what's up to other streamers. Yeah. We're out here getting our grind on. How do we do it? Let's see here who's out here. Right now, we got our guy Nice and Blunt's out here. I knew he might be out here.
Websites your competitors don't want you to know.
Let's go ahead and say what's up.
All you do is go to this website, and it lets you find out exactly how much your competitors in Miami, where there are targets galore available. Let's go Caleb Douglas. Why the fuck not?
All right.
Interesting team.
Yeah,
2 running quarterbacks.
lifestyle.
Hopefully that gets the job done. Jackson Dart and Malik Willis better stay the fuck healthy. But for $1, let's take a chance. We got Devon Achane, Brees Hall. It's a fun little combo together. Bucky Irving with Sean Tucker. That feels solid. And then
Let's go ahead and see what's going on
Rebecca.
over here in these streets. Our guy Blunt. We checked in with him. Now we're on the clock at the 1 spot. Wouldn't you know it? We got streamers luck. At the 1 spot, we got Gibbs, another share Gibbs over here in this Little Dalmatian. That's what she said. That's what she said. I think I seen that name. I like that name. Slim Reaper. The Slim Reaper is KD, right? Yeah. Okay. Let's see who else is in here. Really? Acid Monkey. Coal Band. Some interesting names. Misspelled Life. We're at the 1 hole. I haven't had the 1 in quite a while. We'll go ahead and take it and run with it. Yes, we will. Yeah, we will run with that one. Let's go ahead and share this tab. Coming out of the 1 hole in our first Little Dalmatian. I don't know if I want to do anything super tricky in these kinds. I'm just going to look for the value or so-called value. I don't think I need to get unique in combinations. I think some stuff will fall to me here based on the looks of this type of a room. I see a lot of non-badgers. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 3 in front of me. And so we're just going to go ahead and play it by ear and let the draft fall as it may. And we may get some gems come right into our lap, right? Just might. And but from what I've seen, the way the 2-3 turn has been kind of changing over the course of the draft cycle. I'm not thrilled actually with the 2-3 turn of the normal choices that you're going to have there. So I'm not going to rule out that I don't pull up anybody here, because some of these choices just are getting kind of cookie cutterish to where everybody's pulling the same triggers. And to me, it's just not the way to go. So I might just be looking for combinations that I like, and that this is a time box. So getting a combination that I like here might be more important than just getting value or ADP, but we'll see what happens. We'll see how it shakes out. There's the run of running backs, which tends to be just the old standard. Everybody just goes on their run of running backs right around there. From picks 11, 12, all the way through like, wow, Kyron Williams, what a pull up there. For our guy, Scruffy 777. What a pull up there. I haven't seen Kyron Williams ever go that high this draft season. And that means someone, at least one player, will fall into my lap who is usually not going to be there. We'll see who that one player is. Jeremiah Love. That means I can already tell I got some dudes on the board who I'm going to be really liking here. And let's see what it looks like. I already know there's going to be some dudes I'll like. Well, hopefully. If they're still there. Oh, that was the one that I thought might fly to me. So now it's back to looking kind of standardish, cookie cutterish. We'll go ahead and combine these two guys. I don't think I have much of these two guys together. And it's also not bad value here. We'll go ahead and take Nico Collins, Devonta Smith, right there on the turn. And so we got a start of Gibbs, Nico, and Devonta Smith. Thought it might end up a little different with the guy getting pulled up, Kyron Williams, and Jeremiah Love getting pulled up a little bit, but that's okay. We got a good combination of two very highly valued players right there that we like. So we're all right with that. Like I said, the 2-3 turn has not been very, very intriguing to me out of the one hole. But we'll rock with it. I would have liked to get Bowers as one of those selections. But Kelce, KO1, went ahead and took him. That's fine. We'll go ahead and see what we need to do in the next one. Banzul with 3 straight receivers, as well as the guy next to him, Chase Brothers, 3 straight receivers. Let's see. I guess a lot of times in these dollar contests, people will go ahead and maybe do stuff that they wouldn't normally do, and like contests that are worth a little bit more money. But I'm tending to do the opposite. I think where you need to really take more chances is in like the BBM. Since it's going to be so tough to get through the playoff weeks, you might want to differentiate in this kind of a contest than just these little $1 contests, where it's 3 out of 12, 1 out of 10, 1 out of 6. The BBM is like 2 out of 12, 1 out of like 14 or 15, and 1 out of like 12. I mean, shit. That's where you need to differentiate in that contest. But people have a tendency to tie the uniqueness in their draft strategy and the risk taking in their draft strategy to the dollar amount of the entry, which makes no sense to me. It should be tied to the advanced structure, is where you tie your risk tolerance to, right? Because we here at GAB Sports, we make no bones about it. We are shooting for 0.005. That's 0.005% outcomes. We're shooting for the top. We're not shooting for no mediocre, hey, let me just cash, get my money back, and I'll be all right. Hell no. We're shooting for the top 0.005% outcomes. We want the moolah here, man. We're going for the whole enchilada. We're trying to bring home the bacon, right? We're trying to make it happen, man. And what you in this for, man? We in this to strike gold, or you in here to strike grass, right? We want some gold. We don't want no grass. All right. It's just a little bit of how we think. But to each his own. But we are striking gold, man. And we feel like we got the process and the acumen. Well, we know we got the acumen, but now we know we got the process. So we combine them two together. It's our time to shine. Right here, right now. Do we want to go with a double Houston? We are. Do we want to go with a double Houston or a double Detroit? Double Houston, double Detroit. We're going with Houston. The double Houston. We got Nico, David Montgomery. And we also got we got a 0-2-3. I thought we had a tight end for some reason. Oh, we missed out on the tight end. Missing out on that tight end. It's not going to be a big deal here because we can get one later that we like. Tight end is very deep this year, and at all points in the draft, there's some guys I like who could really just do very well for your team. It doesn't have to be a guy that you pick early. It doesn't have to be a guy that you pick middle range. It could be a guy you pick late. You know, you get a couple guys late, they can do very well for your team. And that's what we're looking at here. All right. Yeah, we can go ahead and pick a guy early, pick a guy late. It's all the same. We like guys at all parts of the draft at our tight end spot. And I don't have a problem with that. Let's see where we're at in this draft. We are coming around to the mid 6th. Again, it's late 6th, early 7th is a spot in the draft I just do not like. I'm adamant about this. So hopefully we can get a guy or two here. You know, kind of that we kind of are interested in. And that would be a faller, which we normally don't get. We just don't tend to get fallers these days. Why? I don't know. Don't know why nobody's letting guys fall these days, because they usually let dudes fall. Right now, they aren't letting dudes fall. It's weird. Or not the right dudes. They are letting dudes fall. Not the right dudes. This could be a right dude. And it was. This was a right dude that fell this time. We got a right dude that fell. We got a right dude that fell. And we will go ahead and jump on him. We're going to take him on the second pick. Yeah. The right dude fell. This guy, Jaden Daniels. As we already got Terry McLaurin. And so he fell. And so we definitely like that one. So there ain't a lot that we get excited about. And we are excited about that one here. So, yeah, we're excited about that fall of a guy of Jaden Daniels' stature to come to the 6-7 turn as we're in the one hole. And we already had Scary Terry. Yeah, we like that one. So thank you for this room. We appreciate you for letting that guy fall into our lap. And so what we want to do with that, I think we just got to go ahead and close it out, right? 8-9 turn is usually one of those turns where I can make a decision on if I want to go standard or the standard picks there, or do we want to try something a little different? And we always are open. We're always open to trying something a little bit different at certain stages of the process, certain stages of the draft. This will be one of them. But let's see what gets there first. Because oftentimes there's not really many fallers at this spot. And so we'll just kind of go with the guys we have ranked pretty well there. And that's okay. We like to pair up some guys potentially. Do we want to do that? Do we want to do that? I don't think we want to do that, but we are not averse to doing that. As we're loading up the queue, we'll just go ahead and talking to ourselves. Oh, I got to put this guy in for sure. Forgot about that. Another guy who we don't mind pulling up. Another guy we don't mind pulling up. What? Are we going to get somebody else to fall? It looks like it. There's a lot of picks. Oh, guys like Kittle getting picked in the 8th round. With Laporta, 2 tight ends who, my eyes, should never be going in the 8th round, but that's fine. I'm appreciative of these kinds of selections because that allows someone to go ahead and come our way. Normally, who we didn't expect to be there. Ah, it's possible we can do this. Yeah. We need another back. Do we need another back? No, we don't. But I think we need this. We'll go ahead and take the double niner. The double niner. Purdy Pearsall. PMP on the corner. So we got 2 stacks we can work with, 2 skinnies. Jaden Daniels, Scary Terry, Brock Purdy, Ricky Pearsall. 2 skinnies. We're okay with those. Don't really need to add much more in the quarterback room or to those stacks. We'll see how it shakes out. But we're liking those 2 stacks out the gate. And let's see what we can add to this team. This team's looking pretty solid. Pretty solid. If I don't say so myself. How about this guy? We're just loading up the queue. Load this sucker up. Load this mother sucker up. Wow, do we want that guy? Oh, no, but we'll put him in the queue anyway. That's enough, guys, in the queue. We got enough. Let's see what the board is looking like. May need to go ahead and roll it up. Roll it down a little bit. Roll it down. Let's see what our guys that started off with 3 straight receivers. They went 3 straight receivers, then they went 2 straight running backs. What are y'all, copying each other? And then he's took a running back in the 7th too. What are y'all, twins? But yeah, those are pretty decent teams though. I would have to give it to these guys. Yeah, so one thing that I've learned over the years, and I've been drafting for many years in this game, never underestimate any drafters, especially when you see all these different badges and stuff like that. There's great drafters and bad drafters with all badges. So just because you got a certain kind of badge, don't give you too much respect. That could maybe be in dailies or something. Or just because you got no badge, hey man, you just might
have not really been drafting a lot over here. And you might have been playing best ball in other spots, or you could be a seasoned veteran in fantasy and you're just now getting into best ball, but you still know what you're doing. So never judge a book by its cover. You judge a book after you read it. So after you see how these people draft for a while, then you say, oh, okay, well, maybe they're sharp, maybe they're not, whatever. But never assume. I'm giving people the benefit of the doubt until shown otherwise. That I'm assuming you know how to draft. You're putting your money at stake. You're coming in these rooms. I'm going to assume you know how to draft. And if you show me that you don't, then I'm going to exploit your ass. That's just the nature of the beast, right? We're looking to exploit all comers, right? Whether you're experienced, whether you're not experienced, whether you're a shark, whether you're a fish, whether you're, whatever you are. We trying to exploit all of you. As we come up with strategy here. We got a game plan for all types, any room. And that's just how we roll. And so we are coming at you on Midnight Mondays with our second and final draft. We're on the clock again. Okay. We can rock with this old tight end. We'll take the old tight end, Travis Kelce. We don't have much of them, but we'll take an old tight end right here. And then we're going to rock with JCM. Yeah, we'll take a share of JCM, man. I know there's a lot of polarizing viewpoints on JCM. A lot of people don't believe in him. A lot of people think, oh, he's for a 7th round pick. He's pretty talented. A lot of people think he's a 7th round pick. He's replaceable. It could be something in the middle, or one of those things could be right. But the range of outcomes is what it's all about. And this is a very wide variety of outcomes available to this guy. Rachaad White, we know he comes over, is in a favorable spot, but he's also shown in the past to fail in some situations. So he could fail. They drafted who? Kaytron Allen, like 6th round, 5th, 6th round. You think this guy is special? He's not special. He would have went in the 2nd, 3rd round. So even though JCM went in the 7th round, on pure talent alone, meaning do you have the traits? And we go over traits here. I'll probably do another thing on traits. This is how I evaluate. I go by traits. Traits that translate. That's what we call it. Traits that translate. We'll do another video, and I'm going to title it that. And so this is what I'm looking at. I'm looking at the traits that running backs need to exhibit that translate to the NFL. And so if I'm looking at the traits that translate out of this backfield, the guy with probably the most traits out of JCM, Rachaad White, and Kaytron Allen, it's close between Kaytron Allen is not on this list. It's close between Rachaad White and JCM. So I'm going to need to look at it a little closer, but just in my mind, without having to just check all the different boxes of the traits, the more meaningful traits are in JCM's box, his tool chest, right? For as far as I'm concerned, right? It's the explosiveness, the tackle breaking ability. So we'll see how it shakes out. All I know is that Rachaad White is not a given to succeed here. He's going to be a given to start, probably, I think, and to get the first crack at the job. But will he be able to hold the job? Will he be efficient enough to maintain the job? That's the big question. So right now, we're getting shares of all 3 of these guys, frankly. Probably Kaytron the least. Not a big believer in his talent. And I'm not sold that he has the goal line role or will get the goal line role. Because actually Rachaad White and JCM aren't bad at the goal line themselves. And so this could just come down to hot hand type thing. Or it could come down to, hey, this is my buddy. Jaden Daniels is going to say, this is my buddy, Rachaad White. He's playing more than y'all. So we'll see. But the bottom line is all 3 of these dudes, one of them could factor into being a big-time win at the running back position based on their price, based on their situation, and based on their ability. All right, so what do we got? A 2-4-4-1. here. Is our guy still here? You low down dirty rats. I knew they would do that. I knew it. But it's quite all right. Because we like this guy. We like this guy. Yep, that's the guy. We like that guy. And then we like this guy. Or do we go with the other guy? We're going with the other guy. That'd be him. Yeah, I don't mind pulling guys up a little bit on the corners. Yeah, we got Jonah Coleman, Trey Tucker. Yep. Jonah Coleman, Trey Tucker. Yeah. Trey Tucker's the receiver to own in Las Vegas. That's what we're believing. That's what our analysis has told us. And we are Raider fans. So take that for whatever it's worth. But I know my team. And yeah, they paid Jalen Naylor a little bit of a bag over here to come over here to the Raiders. He's not as good as Trey Tucker. That's the bottom line. He's not as good as him. And so we're going with the guy who's better. Now, a lot of times people might say, well, the guy who's better doesn't always get the better role. In the NFL, at the receiver spot, the guy who's better usually gets the better role. Overwhelmingly, most of the time. Because the wide receiver position, unlike the running back position, which is based on opportunity, running back position, you can get opportunity at the receiver spot, just not be good enough to really capitalize on it. And from what I've seen from Jalen Naylor, and his metrics even show this, and I don't go over metrics. I go out and when I need to understand a metric, I go look at it, but I'm not here to relay all these metrics to you. Oh, yards per route run, target yards per target, and all this type of stuff. I don't really relay all that stuff. I let everybody else get those numbers, and if I think it applies or is applicable, then I'll just look at it and understand it. And so for the metrics I checked out from Jalen Naylor aren't that great. And so when he's been given the opportunity, he hasn't really flourished. Whereas a guy like Trey Tucker, yeah, this guy can do some things out there on the field. He's a very underrated dude as far as his talent. And I think he'll get a good opportunity here. If the receiver room stays as is, he's going to outclass Jalen Naylor. I have no questions about that. He'll be the number one receiver to own on the Raiders. Not the number one pass catcher, because we all know who that is. Our guy B&B. You know. Brock Bottas. All right, we'll come up here shortly. Let's see what we want to do here. Do we want to do that? Or do we want to get this guy? I think we're going to get this guy. We're very high on this guy right here. So he's got to be one of them. And let me look at our backfield. Oh, we're set. We'll go ahead and take the double stack. We'll take the double stack of Purdy. The double dipper. Dijon Stribling. We'll do that. Because he's one of those guys that can come on late, whereas a guy like Pearsall, who we also have on this roster, he could probably hold down the fort until he hurts the knee or something again. I mean, this guy is fragile as can be. So, pretty Ricky. Fragile Rick. Whatever you call yourself. But we don't need you to be rehab Ricky this year. We need you to be on the field making plays, man, all throughout the season. So go ahead and stay healthy, Ricky Pearsall. Do us a big solid and yourself a big solid by staying on the field Otherwise, Stribling's gonna take your spot. It might never get back. You might get Wally pipped, as they say, right? So we got Stribling as well as Pearsall with Brock Purdy. And so now we're coming into the 16th round. They're on the 15-16 turn right here. Let's see what we want to do in this spot here. I think we want to do something that makes sense for our build. And so we will currently have a 2-5-7-1. So there is a position that is kind of screaming at us. Hey, man, don't forget about us. Hey, man, don't forget about us. We haven't forgot about you. It's just that we're just going to do what we need to do. We haven't forgot about you. But let's see what we can do to help you out in 7 picks. There are some players at that position who people are drafting that we're just not that thrilled about. And I can understand why people are drafting them. I just don't like drafting them myself. Understanding something and liking to do it, fall in 2 different categories, right? I understand. I don't agree with it or like it, so I just steer clear myself. We just go ahead and draft a whole different bucket of players instead of those dudes. Like David Njoku. I understand it. I don't want no parts of him. I mean, I just don't. He was starting to fade last year in Cleveland, where it was a golden opportunity for him to have a big role in Cleveland. And don't say, oh, well, the quarterback play sucked. Well, how come Harold Fannin at the same position did pretty damn well? Yeah, he did pretty damn well. The tight end position, well, how come Njoku didn't do too well? Why? Because he's slipping. It happens, man. It happens to the greatest. It happens to the best. Yeah, starting to slip, starting to fade, starting to get a little old. Speaking of old, we got Travis Kelce. Fire him off. We want to add this young whippersnapper to the room. T. Ferguson. Yes, let's do that. T. Ferguson. Added to the room. Okay, we got a receiver room of Nico Collins, Devonta Smith, Scary T, Rick Pearsall, Trey Tucker, A.D. Mitchell, Stribling, Kelce, Farmer, Ferguson, Gibbs, Demo, Pollard, JCM, Jonah. I'm trying to think where I want to go with the next pick. We're definitely not going quarterback. We're going to rock these two. As this is a 3 out of 12, 2 quarterbacks perfectly fine in a 3 out of 12. It's perfectly fine in a 2 out of 12. But the 3 out of 12 is actually my preferred strategy. The more people that start advancing out of the first round, the lesser amount of quarterbacks I want. So don't be surprised if in these little Dalmatians $1 contests, I can guarantee I'll have some 1 quarterback builds in this contest. Yeah, 1 quarterback. And it'll be a stud, right? You got to be a stud. And everybody's definition of stud could be a little different. So I'm going to show you one of those. I'll probably draft one of those before the week is out. Probably here on my stream. So go ahead and stay tuned to that 1 quarterback draft that we got coming up. It'll happen. And it ain't anything that's tricky or trying to be cute or whatever. I just think a 1 quarterback strategy when you got 3 out of 12, 4 out of 12 is a very viable strategy. It's all about the execution. And of course, you got to stay healthy. We all know that. There's no backup. So if he gets hurt 6-8 games, you're done. That's just the way it is. But I can see a lot of merit in doing it. And I'm going to go ahead and execute one of those very shortly in this little Dalmatian. Now, would I do that in the BBM? Hell no. No reason to, right? It's 2 out of 12. Number 1 out of 14. 1 out of... So that type of strategy is a lot different than a 3 out of 12, 1 out of 10, 1 out of 6. But a contest like the Chow Chow that's coming up, Husky that's coming up, one quarterbacks are viable in those. Why? Because when you get to the playoffs, that's 1 out of 5, 1 out of 4, something like that. And you're going to run into a lot of teams that have similar strategies, right? Everybody's looking for that, oh, we want the robust builds or whatever in those higher dollar contests, $40, $50 entries. And so you're going to have a lot of conservative like drafting. You come with a 1 quarterback build and you get to the playoffs, you're going to have a huge edge. And yeah, everybody thinks, well, but you only got 1 quarterback for 3 weeks. Okay, say it's Josh Allen. Say it's Jaden Daniels. Say it's Lamar Jackson. You think they can't give me 3 very good weeks, maybe 2 smash weeks and 1 pretty good week to keep me, in the game? Yeah, that's how I think. And so I'm not, and I only got to beat 4 teams. I'm in a pot of 1 out of 4, 1 out of 5. Yeah. That's a valid strategy in those kinds of contests, regardless of the dollar amount. All right. So do we want this guy? I think I do. We want Claiborne. We want a Claiborne share. So we want 2673 here on our final draft of the day. Yeah. All right, so let's go ahead and review this one and get on out of here. As we are drafting on midnight Mondays, we are deep into the wee morning hours. We are past midnight here on the West Coast and up to about 3 o'clock on the East Coast. Thanks you for coming in, joining us here on GAB Sports. Let's go ahead and review this team. All right. Let's go ahead and find it because I think I just kind of got out of the draft lobby. Let's go ahead and we'll find it though. What was that one called? Little Dalmatian. Little Dalmatian. We just got our first one. Let's go ahead and do this. Brutus. All right. So let's look at this team coming out of the 1 hole in our very first Dalmatian. We went 2, 6, 7, 3. And our 2 picks at quarterback were Jaden Daniels, fell to us at 73. We were very appreciative of that. And Brock Purdy. All right. So we got 2 very strong quarterbacks. We stopped there at 2. We got 6 running backs headed by Jahmyr Gibbs. We got Demo, Tony Pollard, Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt, Jonah Coleman, and Demond Claiborne. So we like this room. Yeah, it's got 2 guys that can lead us for most of the year. And Jahmyr Gibbs, Demo, and we got Pollard, another star. And then 3 guys whose roles will be of varying degrees, but they could give you very little, or circumstances could lead to they can give you a whole lot. So we're not really counting on them, but we're just hoping that something develops favorably for those guys to help this team. All right, and then we got 7 receivers. Nico Collins, who we added with Demo to give us a Houston duo. We got Devonta Smith, Terry McLaurin, Ricky Pearsall, Ricky. And we got Trey Tucker, a guy we're very high on this year. A.D. Mitchell, Dijon, Stribling, as we went with the double Niner stack of Pearsall and Stribling. And we got the skinny stack of Jaden and Scary T. And then we got Travis Kelce, Pat Freiermuth, and T. Ferguson. So our tight end rooms, which is a little unusual for a Young Moolah team, both of our tight end rooms that we drafted today are unstacked, but you know, that's just the way the cookie crumbled here. So it's not no big deal, but usually my tight end rooms have some sort of correlation or stacking, but just so happens tonight we didn't. And we're okay with that. We got Travis Kelce, Pat Fryermuth, and a high upside T Fergalicious. All right, so we'll go ahead and wind this up here on a Midnight Mondays. It's your guy, YUUNGMOOLAHH, as we are going to go ahead and sign out right here. But we want to go ahead and bring your attention back to our weekly shows that we are offering here as well. So we want to go ahead and show you that. Our weekly show schedule. Our next time to get in front of you will be on Wednesday here on Machiavellian Thoughts. Yeah, we got some things in our crosshairs. And so we're not going to divulge exactly what it is, but we don't know the schedule of our Machiavellian Thoughts of what topics we're going to showcase, but we do have some things that we did mention earlier that will appear at some point during this draft cycle. But here we go with the schedule. Go ahead and check this out. Mondays, which is tonight, actually this morning, as we are past midnight. Midnight Mondays here on GAB Sports, and we will draft the BBM every Monday. And we have on Wednesdays Machiavellian Thoughts, where we will go on to topics that, you know, could range from the sports world in general and how maybe there's impacts in pop culture as well. Or we will have a best ball topic that we talk about, and then we'll go ahead and draft. But sometimes we also won't draft on the Machiavellian Thoughts, and that's every Wednesday. And Fridays we have our Fiesta Fridays, where we come and bring the volume, turn it on up, and have a ball. Right? We had a very great show last week. You go ahead and check that out here in archives with our special guest, brought in Nice and Blunt. That will be on Fridays. Fiesta Fridays, where we have guests. And Sundays, which we didn't get to do yesterday as we were traveling. And so we will do Knockout Brunch, which you can go ahead and check out the shows we've already had with this format, where we have a comparison of either two players or two teams. And they go head to head and get analyzed. And at the end of that, someone is what? Getting knocked the fuck out. All right, so that's our showcase. Our show times, let me say that. Those are our list of show times that we have here, and you can also check that out on the outro. We want to go ahead and thank you for coming to check us out here on Midnight Mondays. Been a long day. All right, we are signing off here. Thank you for coming. Go ahead and smash the like as you check this out on the replay, and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. All right, peace.
I read the board like maps, 3 moves ahead, no cap. You draft on vibes and dreams. I build my league from scratch. My bench got hidden gems. Your roster full of names. I spot the league before it shows, then pour salt on the game. I trade like a casino, flip risk in the gold. You chase last week's fireworks, I chase the box score code. I know the soft matchups, line up who fades in rain. I turn a sleepy Sunday into a money train. Check the line, I'm locked in. Every pick got teeth. You bring a hot take, I bring season long receipts. I got the crown, I got the crown. Draft day, I run this town. Stack my wins, cash my clout. Say my name when lights go out.
It's your boy YUUNGMOOLAHH, man.